Welcome back to OVC Media Day. Head women's coach at Jacksonville State, Rick Pietri, joins us. Coach, welcome back to OVC Media Days in a most unusual fashion.
There is no doubt. Normally, of course, we'd be in Evansville, and obviously now I'm just in a room on the campus of Jacksonville State at Pete Matthews Coliseum.
You're in the Pete, so that's official. So your record at the Pete has been pretty good over the past few seasons.
Yeah, it has, and it's something we've taken a lot of pride in, and honestly, we've had a lot of help. Yeah, our environment here is very conducive to helping the home team. Our pep band is as good as any in the country, and they're very vocal and loud, and we draw a nice crowd. And of course, the way our building is constructed, it's very tight, and so even a smaller number of folks can generate a whole lot of noise in this building.
I know it endured some damage in the tornado of a few years ago, and then you had another storm there, I guess, last week as well. Everything okay on campus?
Yeah, everything is. Our county had some delay. We lost power for a long period of time, actually. The campus, fortunately, did not. But personally, I had no power for 4 days in my home. So, but yeah, everything's back to as normal as things can be in these unusual times, and we're just continuing to work at what we can to prepare ourselves for playing basketball in the not too distant future, hopefully.
So let's talk about that. You returned 4 seniors from a team that made the OVC tournament last year. A quick exit in Evansville. Talk about your expectations for this year.
We graduated. We had 4 seniors graduate, an all-conference player in Destiny Elliott, and then Eagle Hour Award winner, which is a JSU award for a student athlete, in Chloe Long. So those are 2 pivotal losses in particular, for the accolades that they have claimed. So we're going to have to fill those slots. And so that's one of the most significant things. While we do have some experience back, we have some new people who are going to need some immediate help from to take up the slack for the losses that we did have last year. So we're working. We've had a lot of additional practice time. Normally we would be preparing to play right now. Instead, we have another 2.5 weeks. We got that additional transitional practice time that we got in late September that we wouldn't have had in normal circumstances. So we've had honestly a lot more practice, and frankly, that's been beneficial for us.
I'm curious, and I've yet to ask this question to any coaches, so it's going to be the first one out of the box, but is there a certain percentage of your team that's in school virtually on campus? What does that look like for the makeup of your team?
Well, I would say we have probably a little less than half of our kids are all virtual, but we've got some kids, I'd say over half, who are at least attending physically one class, at least, if not multiples. Some are doing it on Teams, Microsoft Teams, where their class is being conducted, but in a virtual setting. So, but we have kids who are physically going to class. So it's kind of wide and varied, and I'm sure it's that way on many campuses.
Yeah, it's kind of understated, but for a coach like you that's been around a long time, your clock tells you, like you just mentioned, we should be playing real ball right now. How have you kind of dealt with that?
We've done everything we can to, number one, our practices haven't been as long as they would have been under normal circumstances. We've tried to, get our work done and get out just because, listen, normally you're in the dog days 3 weeks into practice, and we're well past, when you add the transitional period, we're well past 3 weeks. So it's doing everything we can to keep practice fresh, so that we don't have people's minds wandering in different directions, and then what happens when that happens is the coach gets really upset. So we're doing everything we can to keep our kids engaged in every possible way.
Finish this question for me. For JSU women to be successful this season, this should happen.
We will need to continue to be as good as we have been defensively, and we will need to be better offensively. So there you go.
This league is certainly and dramatically, in my eyes, improved over the time you've been in it. What's been the most dramatic? Is it the coaching? Is it the level of play? Is it the level of recruits? Can you kind of put your finger on that for me?
I think it's a combination of everything you mentioned. I think the coaching is excellent from top to bottom, and it's what makes every game really intensive and preparation intensive, frankly. And so you really got your work to do each and every night. And so I think the coaching, again, from top to bottom, and the preparation that goes with each staff is outstanding. And I think there's been a lot of continuity. You see a lot of continuity in coaching staffs because the coaching's been good. So I think, and listen, I think that when you look at what happened last year's conference tournament, all 3 of the 4 quarterfinal games were in doubt with 30 seconds to go. And so I think that shows you the balance that we have in this league from a physical as well as coaching standpoint.
I'm going to consider this a compliment, and I hope you do as well. And I told Greg Todd this earlier, but you and Greg Todd, to me, just feel so comfortable in your skin where you are inside of your programs and the programs that you've built. Is that a fair assessment?
Well, I think when you've done it as long as I have, I mean, this is going to be my 21st year as a Division I head coach, and you've seen a whole lot. You've seen almost everything. There's always something that comes up you've never seen before, but you've seen almost everything. So you have a fair understanding of who you are, you know, what you're about, and what you're trying to project. And so absolutely, when you've done it as long as I've been fortunate enough to do it, you have a pretty good sense of what reality is.
And so you had all that intact, and then 2020 came and it was pretty dramatic once you left Evansville. So kind of take us through, unfortunately losing that game in Evansville, the first round of the tournament, going home, and then everything unfolding. Kind of take us through those few days.
Well, you're exactly right. I mean, we came home. I went recruiting right after we got home, literally from Evansville, after losing that very close game in the last seconds against Eastern Illinois. Came home, went recruiting. Saw a couple kids, had them set up to come on a visit that following weekend. And then on that Friday, everything went dead. So those kids couldn't come. And since then, no one has come. And so our recruiting has changed dramatically in terms of how we function. I didn't know what Zoom was prior to March 13th. And so, the world changed. And so we've had to adapt with the changing of the world. We didn't see our own players back on this campus until July the 20th. So it was 4.5 months without. Some of my kids hadn't been in a gym with a basketball in 4.5 months at that point. So everything changed. But fortunately, we once July 20th hit, we were here for 3 weeks. They went home. We came back, got tested, got back to work, and so fortunately we've been relatively normal. Our team has not been hit with COVID at all. Which, depending upon who you ask, that could be a good or bad thing, depending upon who you ask. But so we've just gone about our business. We've taken as many precautions as we can to do things in a safe manner. And fortunately for us so far, it's been everything has gone about in a positive way.
Great news so far, and great news when we can get the season tipped off. I think you will have to agree with that.
No
Coach,
doubt.
yeah, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it, and we will see you along the road.
Yes, sir. Thank you.